Politics in Germany has taken a dramatic turn following the latest national election, with conservative leader Friedrich Merz now at the forefront of efforts to form a new government. But while his CDU-CSU bloc emerged victorious, coalition talks promise to be anything but smooth. The far-right Alternative for Germany, or AfD, has surged to a historic second place, while the Social Democrats led by Olaf Scholz suffered a staggering blow, finishing third with their worst post-war result. The AfD, along with the Radical Left Party, now holds one-third of the seats in the parliament, the mandate enough to block constitutional changes, particularly those aimed at reforming Germany's strict debt rules. With the economy under strain and businesses calling for swift action, pressure is mounting on Merz to solidify a governing coalition, likely with the SPD. But deep policy divisions, especially on migration and fiscal strategy, loom large over negotiations. The SPD remains wary, still reeling from Merz's recent parliamentary alignment with the AfD on migration, a move that shattered long-standing political norms. On the economic front, the stakes are high. Germany's business leaders and financial markets welcomed the prospect of a conservative-led coalition, with stocks and the euro rising. However, the rigid debt brake, a rule capping state borrowing, remains a major sticking point. Both the AfD and the left staunchly oppose its reform, fearing that loosening fiscal constraints could pave the way for increased defense spending, a move that could put Germany at odds with NATO and the United States of America. Friedrich Merz, who has never held public office, is stepping onto the global stage with a bold vision, one that distances Germany from US influence. He has openly criticized Washington's interventions in German politics, vowing to make Europe more independent from American power. But his ambitions face obstacles, not least from the growing clout of the AfD, which has found support from figures like Elon Musk, despite being under scrutiny by German security services for extremism. The election result also raises concerns about Germany's defense commitments. The AfD and the left, united in their opposition to military aid for Ukraine, could obstruct efforts to boost defense spending, a move that risks angering NATO allies, especially US President Donald Trump. Analysts warn that failure to meet NATO's expectations could trigger transatlantic tensions and even fuel a US-EU trade war. As coalition talks intensify, Merz is targeting an agreement by Easter. But with an obstructive parliament, a fractured political landscape, and pressing economic challenges, Germany's path forward remains uncertain. The question now is, can the mainstream parties unite to govern effectively, or will the far right and the far left capitalize on the deadlock to reshape German politics for years to come? One thing is clear: Europe is watching, and so is the world.
The conservative Christian Democrats won Germany's national election on Sunday, putting leader Friedrich Merz, who has no prior experience in office, on track to become chancellor of Europe's largest economy. And in a historic showing, the far-right Alternative for Germany, or AfD, won roughly 20% of the vote, marking the first time since World War II that a far-right party has come in second in a German national election. Chancellor Olaf Scholz's Social Democrats tumbled to third, his party's worst showing since the Second World War. Merz inherits an ailing economy, a society split over migration, and a country whose security is caught between a confrontational U.S. and an assertive Russia and China. His victory capped a campaign season roiled by a series of violent attacks and interventions by members of the U.S. Trump administration. They included Vice President J.D. Vance and tech billionaire Elon Musk, who showed forceful solidarity for the anti-migrant AfD, which has also criticized Germany's culture of Holocaust remembrance. Merz, who has shifted conservatives to the right, conditionally supports equipping Ukraine with longer-range Taurus missiles and sees Europe as firmly anchored in NATO. But he is heading into what are likely to be lengthy coalition talks without a strong negotiating hand. While his CDU and CSU sister party in Bavaria emerged as the largest bloc, it scored its second worst post-war result. It remains unclear whether Merz will need one or two partners to form a majority, but a three-way coalition would likely be much more unwieldy, hampering Germany's ability to show clear leadership. All of the mainstream parties have ruled out working with the AfD. If Merz is unable to form a coalition quickly, that could leave outgoing Chancellor Scholz in a caretaker role for months, delaying urgently needed policies to revive Europe's largest economy after 2 consecutive years of contraction and as companies struggle against global rivals. It would also create a leadership vacuum in the heart of Europe, even as it deals with a host of challenges, including Trump's threat of a trade war and attempt to fast-track a ceasefire deal for Ukraine without European involvement. Trump on social media Sunday hailed the election result as a, quote, great day for Germany, saying that its citizens, quote, got tired of the no common sense agenda, especially on energy and immigration.
Und es geht vor allem darum, so schnell wie möglich.
And the main thing is to create a government in Germany that is capable of acting as quickly as possible with a good parliamentary majority. Because, dear friends, the world out there is not waiting for us, and it is not waiting for lengthy coalition talks and negotiations. We must now quickly regain our ability to act so that we can do the right thing at home, so that we can be present in Europe again, so that the world realizes that Germany is being governed reliably again. That's what the conservatives stand for, that's what we stand for, and that's what I personally stand for.
Ja, uns liegen die Ergebnisse vor und die AfD.
The AfD has achieved a historic success. We have achieved the best result in the history of our party, and we are very happy about it. We have doubled our result in 3 years since the last federal elections, and that is an incredible success, considering that our party is 12 years old.
Das ist ein wahnsinniger Erfolg in Anbetracht dessen, dass unsere Partei erst 12 Jahre alt ist.
No one in Europe has ever managed to establish themselves as the People's Party in such short time. We are the People's Party. We are stable, the second strongest party in Germany. We are on the rise.
Wir haben ein historisches Ergebnis eingefahren.
We have achieved a historic result. We have never been stronger in the federal government. We have become the second strongest force as alternative for Germany. And we have now firmly established ourselves as a People's Party.
Und ich muss eins sagen, unsere Hand.
And I have to say one thing. Our hand will always be outstretched for government participation, to implement the will of the people, the will of Germany. We are ready to participate in government. Our hand is always outstretched to implement the will of the people.
Last time, the election result was better, and I had responsibility for that. This time, the election result is bad, and so I also bear responsibility for this result. I would like to say that at this point. For me, therefore, it is first and foremost important to congratulate the CDU, CSU, and the CDU chairman Friedrich Merz from here on the mandate to form the next government. Congratulations on the election result. No cooperation with the extreme right. The Social Democratic Party stands by this clear course, and we hope and believe that all others will continue to show this attitude in the coming years.